Hello and welcome. It's the chat, and I am Manny. My guest on the program today is a professor of engineering who left the university environment to take up the most hated job in Nigeria.
Professor Bartholomew Nnaji is the chairman, CEO of Geometric Power Limited, the first indigenously owned private sector power company in Nigeria. He is a former federal minister of power, special advisor to the president on power, and executive chairman, Presidential Task Force on Power. Prof. Barth, as he is popularly known, was born on July 13, 1967 in Enugu State. He attended St. Patrick's College, Emene, Enugu. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in physics at St. John's University, New York, USA, and then proceeded to the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University for his master's and PhD in engineering. He also obtained a postdoctorate certificate in artificial intelligence and robotics from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. At age 37, he became a full professor of mechanical and industrial engineering at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, USA. Years after, he became the founder and director of the Automation and Robotics Laboratory at the university. Barth moved to the University of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1996 as Alcoa Foundation Distinguished Professor of Engineering and was subsequently appointed the William Kepler Whiteford Professor of Engineering, where he also served as the founding director of the U.S. National Science Foundation NSF Center for E-Design, a 5-university campus NSF Center of Excellence in E-Design. He officially left the university and returned to Nigeria in 2007. In Nigeria, Barth served as special advisor to the president on power and executive chairman, Presidential Task Force on Power from 2010 to 2011. He became Nigeria's Minister of Power in 2011, serving under then-President Goodluck Jonathan, and resigned in August 2012. During this period, he developed and championed the roadmap for power reform in Nigeria, subsequently leading to the privatization of the PHCN. Outstanding in many feats of life, Barth is the first black man in American history to be bestowed with the title of Distinguished Professor of Engineering. Prof. Barth is a technocrat of repute with strong interest in community development. He is married with children, with whom he spends most of his time when not at work.
How does that make you feel, knowing that you took up one of the most hated jobs in Nigeria?
No, I looked at it like a challenge which I felt something that I understand what to do something about.
You were born here in Enugu.
Yes.
And what was growing up in Enugu like in your days? Is it any different from what it looks like now?
Too different.
Really?
First of all, at St. Patrick's College, we had running water. We never had to go outside the college to fetch water. We never had anybody bring tanker to feed water in the school. The water was running. Electricity was constant. During that period, it's amazing. It was just 1970s here.
As a professor of engineering, what would you have done if you were in the shoes, of those in a position of power now to, generate water and electricity?
Interestingly, I have the privilege of serving in our governor's economic advisory committee. Actually, I'm alternate chairman of that committee. And we hear a lot about why things are not working. For example, who can believe that the government will try to establish pipeline for water and people will go to bust the pipeline? Why? Because they don't want running water in places like where we live here, so that they can continue to supply water through tanker.
I also heard from a friend recently who lives here in Enugu that part of the problem is if you dig just deep down for about 10 feet, all you find is coal.
No, in Enugu, yes, but the water wasn't coming from Enugu itself. It was coming from outside, Ajale, outside of Enugu, but you have to pipe the water to Enugu. Yeah,
So how is this problem going to be resolved? I mean, I don't understand.
I think that what the government is trying to do is correct because they are trying to ensure that the pumping station is going to work right and that the pipes are going to be set. They're going to have the correct piping system, distribution of water. And so as long as they're doing that, then I'm comfortable with that.
You were, I mean, obviously not comfortable with the power situation, you know, in Nigeria. And, you know, at some point in 2006, you set up an independent power, you know, plant in Aba. You just take us through that story.
Well, what happened was that actually we built in 2001 a small power plant in Abuja. It was an emergency power plant. That power plant was being built to for a period when the line from Shiroro power plant to Abuja would be completed. Government was doing a power line, 330 kV line from there to its main substation in Abuja. But they estimated it would take about 2 years. Eventually it took like 2 years, 4 months. So they needed to have power to supplement what was coming into Abuja for a period. So they contracted our company, Geometric Power, and a Scottish firm, Agreco, to build such power plants, really guaranteeing 15 megawatts, but we built 22 megawatts to ensure that we are guaranteeing the 15 megawatts because the power has to be reliable. We built this power plant, our own, and we were supplying to the central area of Abuja.